unless you'd like to start in child's pose, let's start sitting upright. If you have blocks or something to sit on, that might be helpful. Happy Monday, everybody. So having a pretty consistent group these pandemic months, practicing yoga together 6 days a week. I think it's important to understand the background of yoga, the tradition behind it. So I wanted to share the 7 paths of traditional yoga, just a brief definition of each and where our practice of yoga fits within those paths. And this is taken from the Traditional Yoga and Meditation of the Himalayan Masters website, where it defines yoga as the practical science intended to help human beings become aware of their true nature, inner peace, tranquility, and wisdom. So the 7 paths are 1, Hatha Yoga. This deals mostly with body and breathing exercises that help the student to become aware of his or her internal states. Hatha Yoga exercises help to make the body a healthy and strong resource for the student. So it's very focused on the physical, and the more modern styles of yoga here in LA, like Vinyasa Flow, hot yoga, things like that, come from Hatha. The second path is Karma Yoga, and it means the yoga of action. This path teaches us to do our own duties in life skillfully and selflessly, dedicating the result of our actions to humanity. Practicing this aspect of yoga helps us to live unselfishly and successfully in the world without being burdened or distressed. The third tradition is Jnana Yoga, and this is the path of knowledge and wisdom. It involves intense mental discipline. In knowledge dawns as we learn to discriminate between the real and the unreal, surpassing the illusions of the ego and conditioning of the mind, between the transient and the everlasting, between the finite and the infinite. This is a refined study of the subtler realities of life. The fourth tradition is Bhakti Yoga. It's the yoga of love and devotion. It's the path of self-surrender, of devoting and dedicating oneself to attaining the ultimate reality. From that stems a lot of the kirtan, the singing, all those devotional practices. The fifth path is Kundalini Yoga. It's a highly technical science. The guidance of a competent teacher is required to learn methods for awakening the serpent-like vital force that remains dormant and asleep in every human body. You might have heard Kundalini rising as the point of this. The sixth path is Mantra Yoga, and it involves meditation and the use of certain sounds called mantras, which are traditionally transmitted to the student and are used as objects of concentration. Mantras help the student in self-purification, concentration, and meditation. These mantras were discovered in deep meditation by sages and teachers that have passed the tradition of yoga for thousands of years. The seventh path, Raja Yoga, and that's what we practice. Encompasses teachings from all the different paths. Because of its variety, it can be practiced by people of many backgrounds and temperaments. It involves all 3 dimensions of human interaction: physical, mental, and spiritual. Through this path, we achieve balance and harmony of all 3 levels and then attain full realization of the self, the deeper sense of self. Raja Yoga is also called Ashtanga, or the Eightfold Path, where we reference the 8 limbs of yoga from the Yoga Sutras, remembering that there are yama, which are the moral restraints, niyama, the spiritual practices, asana, the physical postures, pranayama, breathing techniques, pratyahara, we practiced specifically on Saturday and Friday, withdrawing of sense perceptions, dharana, concentration, dhyana, meditation, and samadhi, union of the self with the object of meditation. So just a little bit of historical background. I get often asked, what kind of yoga do you teach? And I really like that this is more of a hybrid of various styles, and that I believe we all have different things that we resonate with more, whether it be the breathing technique or sitting quietly in meditation or physically moving the body. And as we utilize these various methods, I hope that we can find each of us a unique connection to the practice in a way that works more meaningfully to you. So let's sit upright. If you're in child's pose, gently lift your torso upright. And ground firmly through your sitting bones. Have a stable base and lift the spine up so the belly slightly engages. And even you might place your hands on your rib cage and actually try to lift up your lowest ribs, especially the back ribs, and feel that lengthening in the lower spine, the lower torso. Then let the shoulders roll back and down as you broaden the collarbones. And let your chin parallel the floor as you lift up to the crown of your head. And then just place your hands on your belly and close your eyes and take notice of the way your body is breathing right now. Observe how you're feeling in any way, mind, spirit. In this practice of self-care, being kind to yourself, what do you want to strengthen about your being? Clarifying the intention for your practice. Or maybe dedicating your practice towards someone or something. As you take a deeper breath, feel the belly gently expand, sitting a little taller as you keep the shoulders relaxed. Exhale through the mouth. If it feels good, make a loud sigh. Again, inhale a little deeper. Feel the pelvis root down. And long exhale through the mouth. So now let's just breathe through the nose, deeply into the belly. Then gently hollow the belly as you breathe out. And either continue with that sustained breathing through the nose, or let's begin to practice Bhastrika or bellows breath for 1 minute. I'll do a quick demonstration. You begin with the elbows bent to the sides, hands like fists. On a deep inhale, the hands rise, fingers spread. Exhale, the elbows bent. It's all breathing through the nose using the diaphragm, eyes closed, steadied right between the eyebrows, like this. All right, so if you want to join us for this, sit tall, elbows bent. Let's start. Finish this breath. Relax the hands. Breathe naturally for a moment. And let's transition into Ujjayi Pranayama, closing the lips, gently narrowing the back of your throat, and sustaining your breath equally in and out through the nose. While bellows breath is energizing and helps to optimize the oxygen capacity of the lungs, great for these times. Ujjayi breath is relaxing for the nervous system, yet warming for the body and anchoring for the mind. So continue to steady your attention on your breath rhythm, and let's make our way down to all fours, hands and knees. So if you want to give your wrists a stretch as we prepare for cat-cow pose, you could either spin the fingertips to turn out, maybe back towards the knees. You could flip the palms, maybe one at a time, face up. Or make fists with the hands and gently press the fists towards each other as the back of the hands lean on the ground, elbows bent apart. So whatever variation, inhale, stretch the spine forward, then coil your chest up, arching into cow pose. Then exhale, contract the belly, look under your belly and round the back. Keep going. Inhale, stretch the spine from the pelvis, then lift the chest to broaden it. Exhale, contract the belly, drop the skull as you round the back. Synchronizing the in-breath with arching to lift the chest. The out-breath with rounding as you hollow the belly. Let's take a couple more cycles. The Sanskrit word for this movement or couple poses is Bitalasana. Now on an exhale, relax your neutral spine. Set your hands flat on the floor so that your wrists are about 2 inches in front of your shoulders. Your index fingers are parallel as they point forward. Palms are flat. Then tuck your toes behind you. Lift the hips. Draw your weight back. Then take a moment. It might feel good to slowly pedal your feet in place. If you're looking to stretch the sides of your lower back, try this. Bend the right knee. Turn out your left foot as you straighten the left leg, press that heel on the ground. Look under your left armpit towards the ceiling and press through both hands as you draw your sitting bones back. You might stay for a couple of deep breaths. And then do the opposite side as you bend the left knee a lot. Turn out your right leg. Spin the right heel down as you straighten the right leg, and then look under the right armpit towards the sky. Draw the hips back. Coming back through center. Walk your feet forward outside of your hands, so about as wide as the width of your mat to prepare for a spinal twist. If you have blocks or something to elevate your hands on in front, feel free to use that. Otherwise, fingertips are on the ground. Try to lengthen your spine parallel to the floor. Shift your weight towards the balls of your feet. And imagine you're pressing the heart through the gates of your arms. Lengthen the neck. Then set the left hand down front and center. Keep the hips as squared as you can as you raise the right arm. And then turn your chest to face the right wall. Draw the shoulders down the back. And keep stretching the spine forward as you breathe in. Right fingertips reaching up towards the sky as the palm faces the right wall, helping to open the right side of your chest. Take another breath in. Then exhale the right hand front and center, the left arm to the sky. Lean forward, slide the shoulders back, inhale. Keep the hips as leveled as you can and exhale, twist to the left, turning the chest. So with your left palm facing the left wall, reach the fingertips up. Feel the left collarbone broaden from the sternum. Taking a couple last breaths here. Spiraling the rib cage, trying to keep the two hips firming the midline. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower the left hand. Bend your knees. Let the arms and head hang heavily. Knees very bent, breathe in. And sweep your arms and torso to the right side, rising all the way up in a lateral circle. Going to open up the left side here. And then exhale, lean to the left side, bend the knees. Sweeping all the way down, lateral circle, let's reverse. Bend the knees, inhale, sweep the arms and torso to the left. Climbing all the way up, firm the belly. Exhale to the right, coming all the way down. Then heel toe your feet, hips width apart, parallel. Press your fingertips on the ground ahead or your shins and breathe length to your spine as you look forward. Exhale, fold in. Little bend in the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, hooking your thumbs like an eagle. Press your hip bones slightly forward. Draw the tailbone down towards the ground between the heels. Then lift your back ribs right under your shoulder blades. Coil your chest up. Slide the shoulder blades down, taking 2 more breaths. Broaden the chest, lift the heart. Draw the tailbone down, firm the lower belly in. Another breath in. Bend your knees. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your fingertips just outside of your heels. Step the ball of your left foot back to a high lunge. So decide how you want to have this lunge either back knee to the floor or back knee lifted. Maybe hands are on blocks so that your neck feels spacious, shoulders are relaxed. Breathe in here. Begin to straighten the right leg by scissoring the hip back while reaching your chest forward to fold, just inside of the leg. Now let's flow in and out. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, scissor the right outer hip back and fold, reaching your chest forward. Let's take 3 more cycles. Inhale, bend. Exhale, scissor and fold. Inhale, bend. Exhale, scissor and fold. Inhale, bend. Exhale, scissor and fold. Now step your left foot forward about 1/3 of the range it is in and straighten both legs. Spin the back heel flat, keeping the feet hips width apart so your hips stay evenly facing forward. Come up halfway on your fingertips. Now take your right thumb and hook the crease of your right outer hip, drawing it back just enough to re-level the hips. Firm down through both feet, engage the fronts of your thighs, and then stretch the crown of your head forward further, breathing in. To your right side, turn your chest. Hips stay leveled, raise the right arm up again. Few breaths here in revolved triangle pose. Firming down through both feet, engage the fronts of the thighs. Lengthen the spine forward, shoulder blades down the back. Hollow the belly as you breathe out and feel the twist deepen right across your waistline. Let's take 2 more breaths. Feel the reach up through the right fingertips. Broaden the right side of your chest. Now set the right fingertips outside the right foot. Step the left foot hips width from the right. Forward folds. Press the legs to the ground. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Circle the arms. Inhale, rise all the way. Let's switch the hook of the thumb on top if you remember which. And then coil the chest up. Draw the tailbone down. Lift the back ribs away from it. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. And broaden and lift your chest. 1 more deep breath. Bend the knees. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Lower your fingertips outside of your heels. Exhale, step the right foot back to a lunge. So decide if you'd like to keep the right knee lifted or on the floor as we move in and out of the lunge. Breathe in here. Then scissor your left outer hip back to straighten the front leg while reaching the chest forward to bow. Keep going. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor the left hip back and fold. 3 more cycles. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. Now set your right foot forward about 1/3 of the range it's in now, keeping the feet hips width apart. Spin the back heel down. Hips facing forward. Place your left thumb on the outer crease of your left outer hip. Draw that hip back just enough to re-level the hips. Firm down through both feet, both heels. Engage the fronts of your thighs. Then lengthen your spine forward down the center line of your mat. Breathe in. Shoulder blades down the back. Steady the hips and twist to the left as you breathe out. Then raise the left arm to the sky. Keep twisting for a few more breaths. Feel how anchored both of your feet entirely are. Strong through both legs. Balanced in the hips. Rotating the rib cage. Feel the reach through the left fingertips. Broadening the left side of your chest. 1 last breath. Parita Trikonasana, revolve triangle pose. Set your left hand outside the left foot. Exhale the right foot forward to fold. Heel toe your feet together to touch. Let's prepare for Utkatasana or chair pose for about 3 breaths. Bend your knees together to touch. Sink your weight towards your heels, gliding the shin bones back as you sit low. Reach the arms up and draw the shoulders down. Feel the natural curve of your lower back, taking 1 more inhale. Then exhale, shift forward to fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Step back to plank and exhale, lower forward, then all the way down. Breathe into cobra, firming down through the tops of your feet and pelvis. Breathe out to downward facing dog. Keeping the hips squared, inhale, raise the right leg behind you. Then exhale, bend the right knee towards your nose to softly land the foot just inside of your right hand to a high lunge. Feet or hips width apart, parallel. Root down to your feet and rise up to your spine, lifting the arms overhead. Now, as we set this up, you could bend the left knee to help you orient your pelvis more upright, lifting the frontal hip bones so the lower back has good length as you square the hips. Anytime, you could put the back knee entirely on the ground if you want more support altogether. So as you raise the arms up, use your right hand to catch hold of your left wrist. Keep the hips facing forward as you breathe in, lengthen the spine from your pelvis. Keep the legs still. As you breathe out, side bend to your right. Let's try that a few breaths. Inhale, lengthen the spine from the pelvis. Keep the legs still. Exhale, continue to side bend. Let's take about 3 more breaths, just like that. Targeting the left side of the lower back here. You might imagine breathing into that area where there's that deep muscle, the quadratus lumborum. Hug the lower belly towards the spine. Now with your next inhale, rise back to crescent pose. Reach the left hand forward, then down just inside the right leg and come into a spinal twist in your lunge. Feel that as you press the left heel back, it helps you to lift the left thigh away from your mat. And as you bend the right knee just above the right heel, you're able to sink the right hip downward, then hugging the hips towards the midline, feel stability there at the lower spine. Take another breath in. Backstroke the right arm, left hand forward to rise, face the left side in warrior 2, dropping the back heel. Now see that your right heel is aligned to the arch of your left foot. As you turn out the right leg, the front knee and middle toe are tracing the midline of your mat and facing forward. While your left leg is slightly facing forward, you're straightening it, firming the top of the left thigh bone back. Let's take a couple last breaths here. So we're setting the route through which we're going to flow into a continuous breath-led movement. Keep the right knee bent, flip the right palm up, and lift the sides of your waist before side bending towards the rear of your mat in exalted or peaceful warrior. Feel that your right knee continues to trace the midline of your mat. Take a deep breath. Then cartwheel your hands to the ground. Exhale from plank down to Chaturanga Dandasana or the floor. Inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Let's take a couple of breaths. And as you close the lips using Ujjayi now, inhale, raise the left leg, square your hips. Exhale, bend that knee towards your nose. Lightly step the foot just inside of your left hand to a high lunge. Pause and make sure that your feet are set up wide enough apart so it doesn't feel like you're balancing on a tightrope. They're parallel. Then root down through the feet to rise up into crescent pose. Now, you could bend the right knee. You could lower it entirely on the floor. Do what you need to feel strong and stable, especially at your center, right under your belly button. Pelvis is upright, hips are squared, legs are firmly rooted. Then with your left hand, take hold of your right wrist, lift the sides of your waist as you inhale. Then to your left, exhale, side bend the torso, but keep the legs still. Breathe in where you are. Keep lifting the lower spine from the pelvis. Exhale, continue to side bend. So when we do flow, this is going to be in one breath. But just now we're taking a few breaths so we can really feel what your range is right now. And feel the stability of your legs as you do it. Then inhale to rise up. Reach the right hand forward and down on the inside of the left foot. right into a spinal twist. Feel how you stabilize again your center by pressing the right heel back, lifting the right thigh away from the mat, while bending the front knee just over the heel and sinking the left hip towards the mat. Hug the hips towards your midline and continue to twist. Shoulders relaxed. One more breath. Then backstroke your left arm, reach the right hand forward and turn to your right, dropping the right heel, warrior two. Align your left heel to the arch of your right foot. Now feel the turn out of your left leg so your front knee and middle toe are completely facing forward. Right leg slightly turns in as it straightens. You're firming the top of the right thigh bone back. Steady your gaze and take one more breath. Keep the same bend in your left knee. Flip the left palm to face up. Lift the sides of your waist, then side bend towards the rear of your mat in peaceful or exalted warrior. Feel the breath opening down the left side of your body. Deep inhale. Exhale your hands to the floor, lowering down into your vinyasa, or maybe cat-cow pose if you prefer it. Let's meet in downward facing dog for a few deep breaths. Cultivating depth, balance, calm, all the qualities you want to cultivate in your movement and mental state. Now bend your knees, look forward. At the end of your exhale, lightly land your feet to touch at the top of your mat. Breathe in to lengthen forward. Exhale to fold. Knees touching. Inhale, sink your weight towards your heels in chair pose. Exhale to rise up. All right, that same sequence, let's turn it into one breath each motion in a meditative flow. With arms by your sides, breathe in, breathe out through the nose. Here we go. Inhale to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step or lightly jump back to lower through your vinyasa. Breathing in to cobra or upward facing. Exhale to downward facing, hips squared. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, step the foot forward to a high lunge. Inhale, rise up to crescent. Catch hold of the left wrist. And exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, up, then lean the left hand and torso forward. Lower it and exhale, twist to the right. Backstroke the right arm as you breathe in. Turn to face the left side, warrior two. Exhale, flip the right palm up, sweep it overhead to peaceful warrior. Inhale, touch the ground with two hands in plank pose. Exhale, lower or go straight to downward dog. Flow or no flow. When you arrive in downward facing, inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, step the foot forward to a high lunge. Inhale, rise up to crescent pose. Catch the right wrist. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, rise up, then lean forward. Exhale, the right hand down, twisting to your left. Inhale, backstroke the left arm, rise to face the right wall. Warrior two. Exhale, flip the left palm, sweep it overhead. Peaceful warrior. Inhale, touch the ground with both hands. Exhale to lower. Vinyasa or not, let's meet in downward dog. Taking a few breaths there. Let's try the sequence one last time in a continuous flow. Now that we've gone through it once, see if you can steady even more attention on the qualities of your breathing and trust your body to flow. With bent knees, look forward. Bottom of the exhale, lightly land at the top. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Knees touch. Inhale, sit back in chair. Exhale to rise. Last round. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen forward. Step or float back. Exhale to lower. Breathe in to lift the chest. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, step it forward, high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent. Catch the left wrist. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, rise, then lean forward. Exhale, left hand down, twist to the right. Inhale, backstroke the right arm, rise up to face the left wall. Warrior two. Exhale, flip the right palm, peaceful warrior. Inhale, touch the earth, both hands. You decide flow or straight to down dog. Last side. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, step it forward, high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent. Catch the right wrist. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, rise, then lean forward. Exhale, right hand down, twist to your left. Inhale, backstroke the left arm, rise to warrior two, facing rights. Exhale, flip the left palm, side bend to peaceful warrior. Inhale the hands to the earth. Lower or step back, you choose. Whether you're still in downward dog or resting in child's pose, let's take 3 to 5 deep breaths. If you're in downward dog, imagine me standing at the rear of your mat just behind you, pulling the fronts of your thigh bones, the very tops of your thigh bones by your hip creases, up towards the ceiling and back towards the rear wall. As you firm the belly in and relax the neck, roll the triceps towards the ground. Keep lifting the sitting bones, drawing the weight back. One more deep breath. So at the end of your exhale, lightly land at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Knees bent together. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale to rise up. So let's continue with the release of the lower back area and twisting in a little balanced place, standing upright. Revolved hand to big toe pose. So as we stand with both feet on the ground, feel as reference how your pelvis is generally equal in height on both sides. Front part of it is slightly lifted so the tailbone is anchoring downward towards the inner heels. Now keep the strong energy in the lower belly. And with your right thumb at the crease of your right outer hip, like we did in the twist before, use your left hand to catch your outer right knee. Flex the right foot as you lift it off the floor. So with the right thumb, press the right outer hip down and keep that steady, balanced pelvis. Relax the shoulders right over the hips. Now you keep the right knee bent, or if you'd like to straighten the right leg to some degree, offering more length into the hamstring, keep flexing the foot and slide your right hand down to the outer foot or ankle as you extend the right leg forward. Just make sure it doesn't cause you to have to bow the spine forward. You want the spine to stay upright. Now keep the pelvis still and get tall by pressing the earth with your left foot. Breathe in. Now turn the chest to face the right wall. Inhale, root down, stand a little taller. Exhale, keep twisting. Maybe you reach the right arm towards the back wall. Maybe you start to look at the right thumb. Last few breaths. Taller and taller as you inhale. Shoulders pressing down, twisting as you exhale. Right hip drawing down. Now gaze forward. Bend the right knee to turn it open and cross the right ankle over your left thigh. Still playing with balance here. Bend the left knee and sit back like a one-legged chair with a figure 4 shape in your legs. Hands could be together at your heart. They could be overhead like chair. Try to evenly draw your sitting bones back and down as you still engage the lower belly. Relax the shoulders. Those of you itching for a arm balance here, you can plant the hands on the floor, foot in front of your left toes. If you're doing that, wrap the top of the right foot outside the left upper arm. Cross the shin on top of both upper arm as you bend the elbows back. Shift your weight forward by gazing ahead of you to possibly lift the left leg straight back. Flying single pigeon pose. Whatever version you're in, as you feel ready to come out of it, rise up to stand. Breaths. You might even like to shake out the left leg, circle it at the ankle. And then reacquaint yourself with that reference point of an upright pelvis, strong center, balanced hips. Keep referencing that and use your left thumb. Place it just at the crease of your left outer hip. From down to the right foot, which requires engaging the quadricep. Flex the left foot as you lift the knee about the height of your hip and use the right hand to catch the outer left knee. Stacked shoulders over hips, tall spine, breathe. If you're going to straighten the left leg to some degree, slide your right hand down the outer leg to catch the outer foot or ankle. Keeping the spine upright, use the left thumb, press the left hip down, root down to your right foot, stand taller as you inhale. At your waistline, begin to twist to the left as you exhale. Taller as you inhale, shoulders relax down, twisting as you exhale. You might like to raise the left arm back or maybe look at your left thumb. A few last breaths here in Parita, Uttita, Hasta, Parangushtasana. Revolved hand to big toe pose. Now, begin to look towards the front of your room. Turn out the left leg as you bend the knee, crossing left ankle over right thigh, and either join your hands in prayer as you start to sit in this one-legged chair, or reach the arms overhead. Evenly draw the sitting bones down, still engage lower belly, lift the chest. Calm, steady breaths. If you're going for the arm balance, flying pigeon, set the hands a foot in front of your right toes. Look ahead of your hands on the floor. Cross the left shin on top of both upper arms as you keep the arms parallel, wrapping the top of the left foot around the right upper arm. Hollow the belly, shift forward to possibly lift the right leg straight back. How's your breathing? And as you feel ready, we'll meet standing tall in mountain pose. Arms by your sides, in mountain. Bend your knees, sink your weight back to chair, and begin to slowly lower your pelvis to the floor, sitting all the way down for boat, one round. We're gonna do a twisting version of boat here. So interlace your fingers except your index, so you're pointing with the index. Relax the shoulders, sit tall, breathe in. Then to your right, exhale, twist. Inhale, center. To your left, exhale, twist. That's it. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Maybe straighten the legs. Exhale, twist. Let's do 3 more on each side. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. That's 3. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. That's 2. Last round. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Come back to your center. Bend your knees if you need to, and with your peace fingers, clasp your big toes. Once you have them, you can play with the counter forces of a bow and arrow as you kick the legs towards straight and pull them in. Sit up a little taller. Relax the shoulders. Now you can bend the knees apart, let the heels come together. You could extend the left leg out, bend the right knee towards the right outer shoulder. sort of like you're aiming a bow and arrow. If you're doing that to one side, explore the other side. Just a playful way to open the hips and feel strong in the center throughout the core. Steady breaths. And when you decide, gently lower your feet on the ground for bound angle pose. Bending the knees apart, soles of the feet together, heels close to your pelvis. Then ground the sitting bones and lift the heart, breathing in. Extend the heart forward as you exhale to bow. And you might like to crawl the hands forward or even explore more side bends by walking the hands both to the right for a few breaths, then both to the left for a few breaths. So those of you that have an inversion practice that is heating, those include downward facing dog, dolphin pose, headstand, tripod headstand, handstand, forearm balance, with or without a wall. Feel free to take that on your own for the next minute and a half or so. If you don't have one yet, choose either downward dog or join me for dolphin pose by coming down onto hands and knees. So if you're going down to hands and knees, set your elbows on the floor after that so they're exactly shoulders distance apart. Now you can decide to have your forearms parallel so your palms are face down, or interlace your fingers so you have a triangular base out of your arms. In dolphin, you're not carrying any weight on your head. So either look forward, which is more active, or let your head hang without touching anything. Your forearms and your feet are bearing your weight. So when you're ready, tuck your toes and lift your hips so your legs are like downward dog. Now as you hold the pose 5 or so breaths, see if you can walk the feet forward closer to your elbows while pressing your chest back towards the shins, so as to keep your shoulders either directly on top of your elbows or behind them, but not hovering in front of them. Lift the shoulders up to create space in your neck. Gauge the belly in. You could also bring the feet to touch and explore the challenge of lifting one leg straight up, flexing the lifted foot, and keeping your hips squared. Maybe you do that for one round, and then you take a child's pose to rest a few breaths, and then switch sides. So you're on your own for the next, about 45 seconds left, whatever inversion that you're practicing. And when you do ultimately land in child's pose, at the end of it, you might just like to drape your arms back by your shins, maybe turn one ear towards the floor to gently stretch the neck, just giving the shoulders a break. And if you're stretching one side of your neck after a few breaths, switch sides. Place your hands alongside your knees and tuck your chin to your chest to slowly roll your spine upright. Let's slide the feet in front to prepare for bridge pose, but we'll come down with a little core stability strengthening. So set your feet in front of your pelvis, sit tall, see that your feet are parallel, hips width. Then extend the arms forward, palms face up so the shoulders are relaxed. Feel all the muscles from neck to glutes and all around your torso engage to help you slowly lower the spine to the floor. So when your head lands and the arms are straight down by your sides, you can slide your feet back to the point where you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. Now preparing for bridge, set your feet flat, shoulders on the ground, and inhale, lift your pelvis, stretching the thighs forward, parallel to each other. Slip the upper arms under your back ribs, closer together. Maybe interlace the fingers, but more important to keep the arms straight so you're opening the chest. Tilt the chin slightly back to open the throat and fill up your lungs. Energize them with full breaths. Engage the hamstrings and slightly the glutes by imagining you're dragging the heels back towards the glutes without visibly moving them. As you stretch the tailbone forward towards the space between your knees, feeling length through the fronts of the hips and thighs as well, opening the front of the torso, the lungs, the heart center, the fronts of the shoulders. When you decide to come down, use an exhalation to carefully lower one vertebra at a time. So rest for about 3 breaths and then choose one more back bend to practice on your own for 5 to 10 breaths. Whether it's the same thing bridge, flipping over onto your belly, catching your outer feet in bow. If you're looking for a lower back strengthening, locust pose is great for that, where the legs stay straight and you're on your belly and you lift everything that you can. Arms can be open. So taking your last back bend for 5 to 10 deep breaths. Perhaps even Urdhva Dhanurasana, hands alongside the ears, arms stay parallel, legs and feet stay parallel. Just be mindful that you're not overarching or compressing the lower back in any way in any of these back bends. You think of lengthening the tailbone towards the space between the knees. When you are finished with your back bend, whether you're on your stomach or on your back, stay there and just take a few breaths to gently sway your shins left and right together to help massage and loosen your lower back. So very gently begin to lift your body upright to sit. You're going to come into a seated spinal twist. More twisting. So extend your left leg forward. Decide to either place your right foot in front of the hip or crossed outside of your left knee. Plant the foot flat, and you might even bend the left knee. Set the right hand just behind your pelvis. Raise the left arm. And press into the ground to sit taller as you inhale. Twist to your right as you exhale, and use your left hand to hold your right shin, or hook your elbow outside that thigh. Keep breathing length up your spine, relaxing the shoulders down, and turning the rib cage, keeping the hips squared. About 3 more breaths in this seated spinal twist called Lord of the Fish. Now as you breathe out, unwind the spine. We're going to come into Gomukhasana, so keep the right leg on top and hug your thighs as close together as you can. You might choose to straighten the left leg if you're feeling off balance, or you just want to focus more on the left hamstring. Flex both of your feet in either variation. And now with your right leg on top, raise your left arm. If you need a strap to support the shoulder, hang it from your left hand so it's dangling behind your back. Then guide your left elbow to bend just behind the center of your head, landing the left hand between your shoulder blades, where you could hold your shirt if you don't have a strap. Use the right hand under behind you to catch hold of your shirt or the strap. Then walk your hands as close together as you can. Maybe they clasp. Press the shoulder blades down, broaden the chest, and then lift the spine tall as you breathe in to coil the chest up. Hug the belly towards the back. Lead with your heart as you exhale to bow forward. Pausing where you are as you breathe in to sink the sitting bones down further while stretching the spine forward more. Folding maybe a little deeper as you breathe out, keeping your throat open for about 3 more breaths in cow face pose, Gomukhasana. And as we open up the outer hips and thighs here, the glutes can also help to release any tension you may have in the lower back. As we're also opening the shoulders. Now keeping the belly firm, lead with your chest, and on an inhale, slowly rise up. Release the hands, straighten the legs, and maybe shake the legs out. Let's start with a twist. So set your left foot either in front of the hip or crossed outside of your right knee, or you might also bend your right knee. Set your left hand just behind your pelvis on the ground and raise your right arm up. Sit tall as you breathe in, twist to your left as you breathe out. And with your right hand, either hold your left shin or hook the elbow outside your thigh. Broaden the chest, sit taller as you breathe in, twist a little deeper as you breathe out. About 3 more breaths. Then unravel the spine, but keep the cross of your leg so the left leg hugs further over the right leg, where you could decide if you want to bend both knees and splay the feet apart, but if that throws you off balance, you could straighten the bottom leg forward. Flex the feet either way and raise your right arm. So opposite leg on top, opposite arm up. Hold a strap if you're using it, dangle it behind you. Bring the right elbow behind the center of your head to land the right palm between your shoulder blades. Grab the shirt there if you don't have a strap. Reach the left hand underneath, grab the shirt or the strap, and walk your hands as close together as you can. Maybe they clasp. Then sit up a little taller as you broaden the chest and press the shoulder blades down to lengthen the neck. Breathe in, then extend the heart forward, begin to fold. Pause, breathe in, root the sitting bones, stretch the spine, keep the belly firm, exhale, deepen the fold. Just like that, about 3 more breaths in Gomukhasana. Lead with your chest and inhale to slowly rise all the way up. Release the arms, release the legs, and shake anything that needs to be shaken right now. Set your feet hips width apart with your legs straight in front of you to prepare for Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. You might use a strap around the balls of both feet. If no strap, reach up and grab your 2 imaginary straps from the sky. And getting a little taller as you flex the feet, ground the sitting bones and hug your outer hips towards the midline. A little firmness in the belly as you lift the back ribs. Relax the shoulders and lead with your heart as you begin to fold. If you don't have straps, catch hold of your legs or your big toes and find a slight cobra in your chest, lifting just a little bit as the shoulder blades move down your back. Growing the spine, especially the lower spine, as you fold in. While flexing the fronts of your thighs, your quadriceps, you offer support to lengthen the backs of your thighs, your hamstrings. Let's take 3 last breaths here. Begin with a heart to rise as you inhale to lift the spine. Let's come all the way down onto your back. Taking just another half a minute for one last posture, maybe lifting the legs in some restful way. Happy baby, shoulder stand if you normally practice it. Legs up the wall, legs on a pillow. Any last gentle movement or stretch or big freeing exhalations, as loud as they need to be. And start to make your way into that comfortable resting pose where we'll spend the next few minutes in Shavasana. Keeping your body still, eyes closed, breathing naturally. Stay aware of your inner space and what you've cultivated in this practice there. Now for the next 2 minutes, decide to either remain longer in Shavasana or to lift your body up slowly so that you can sit in meditation. Rising up if you're meditating. Find a way to sit so that your mind feels alert, your body feels relaxed. You might close your eyes or half gaze downward where you can more easily direct attention inward. Now you might continue counting 10 breaths at a time and then starting over if you get distracted in the mind. Or you might have a subtler anchor by feeling the breath come in and out and using that to stay present here in your body as you watch the thoughts as they come and go. Choose your practice. Let's sit for 2 minutes. If you're still lying down and you want to close the practice with us, begin to make your way up gently. As you're sitting, let your palms meet at your heart, bowing in towards your heart in recognition of your inner guidance. Perhaps reflecting on how you can spread the benefits you feel here, the work you've done in this practice. So we know that the inner work that we do shares a brighter presence with the world around us. Let's close, joining in one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.